Hello, everyone. I am the Worm. This is Raging Loop, and I think you all know what time it is. It is wolf time, of course. What other time could it be? And, well, quite a bit happened. We officially began the Wolf Night. We got our costume, we put it on, we went outside, we met up with our fellow wolves, and now we have, just a minor decision here to make. No big deal. Um, yeah. So what were the bringers of corruption? You think? What what's the cause of those things? Was that do you think they were actually wolves or what? Because I really can't think. I can't think of anything practically speaking what that would be. So I'm just gonna not think about it. I'm gonna let that one be for now, and I'm gonna move on. So, unfortunately, we well, maybe fortunately. Fortunately for Haruaki, he is not under the sway of whatever it is that is causing Haru and Kaori to want to kill everyone. So, I feel like that's definitely a plus. Our mind is our own for now. So, we're going to have to. I feel like I wanted to kill no one just because I really think that's going to be a pretty quick bad end. I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to commit to this in order to get through it. So, but let's try this one. The game, originally told us to seek out bad. Don't be afraid to seek out bad ends. So let's do it.
殺人なんてすべきじゃない。殺すのはやめないか。
I really feel like this is gonna work, Haruaki. I feel a bit rambly this time. Am I rambly right now? Anyway, let's continue. The rule was one kill per night. Just like with humans, that was a limit. Basically, we couldn't kill two or more, but there was no rule about not killing it. Really? I thought they were pretty explicit. It was, cleanse, purge, or die. I'm pretty sure the corruption will get us if we don't kill. But, maybe we need proof that that's the case before moving on. Thankfully, we had the perfect situation for that.
香織さん、しっかりするんだ。これは信託でも何でもない。何かひどく悪質な陰謀です。それに従えばあなたは絶対に後悔する。あなたの体がそれを証明してしまっているでしょう。
だが。
Although, if Haruaki is able to successfully convince these two not to go through with it, that would be telling as well, actually. I feel like that would be pretty important to discover.
そんなに震えて、まともに喋れなくなってまで、神内明神の眷属という役割にこだわる必要はないんです。幸い、匠さんは、こちらが殺さない限り向こうも殺さないという体制を作ってくれています。僕らが殺さなければ、殺し合いは起こらない。
本当に本当なの？
ええ。互いに手を出さない限りは、その間に解決策を探れるはずです。もちろん、この状況で正体を明かさずに信頼関係を維持するのは並大抵のことじゃない。でも、息子を殺すよりは、あなたはきっと前向きに望めるんじゃないですか。
それはそうよ、もちろんだわ。
Of course, I doubt Haru's gonna be okay with this. I did it. Yasumizu's laws weren't absolute. I just proved it. Oh, this is pretty wishful thinking right now. Or so I thought. Yeah, no. I felt a light impact on my side, and when blood started pouring out, I thought I was living out some sort of sick joke. A moment later, my consciousness quickly began to fade, making me once again realize that death could come out of nowhere. Was it Haru? Yeah. As I collapsed on my back, my eyes met those of the smallish wolf, Haru-chan. Even through the cloth, I could tell they were cold, stern, and full of disgust and hatred for powerless vermin.
やっぱりよそ者はダメだわ。
The words were even colder than the encroaching shadow of death.
山の掟は絶対だというのに。
In her hand, she held a bloody grass sickle.
香織さんは分かってるよね。
My vision soon faded completely.
兄ちゃんもよし君も私たちが楽にしてあげないといけない。
At first, I'd felt the taste of blood in my mouth, but even that was gone now.
それが私らの使命だって。
I couldn't feel warmth or cold anymore.
いやよ、そんなの。じゃあいい、死ね。
I stopped hearing whatever they were up to, and as my consciousness faded, I realized that I failed. Man, the wolves this time were just awful. What do you mean by that, Haruaki? I mean, I don't know. I feel like the ones in the previous route were worse, if you don't mind me saying. It's just... I mean, it's interesting that Kaori seemed to actually be convinced, and even after we were cut down, she continued to not want to do it. That's definitely something. What's interesting to me about that situation there is that with Haru, it's interesting to me that it is actually Haru saying that instead of the god, quote-unquote god being. We actually haven't heard from that being in a while, have we? When was the last time we heard from them? It was actually, remember, last time Haru had died, and yet it was sometime later we actually heard the god figure again, but it was a disembodied voice. It was like it was coming from nowhere. That might have been the last time we heard that voice, unless we heard it later in a flashback. Yeah, I'm really curious about that entity still. It's interesting that we haven't heard from that entity, even though we're with Haru. Maybe we will, and we're just not there yet. Bad ending 21. Show me that key. A rational purge. I have finally become a quote-unquote wolf, but there must be things I can only see from this perspective. It seems the brainwashing doesn't work on me, so we can avoid killing and try breaking the law. When I suggested that, Haru, who advocated adhering the law, purged me. Perhaps it's impossible to avoid being a killer. Maybe. Give it to me, Mr. Sheep.
やっちまったな大将。しかしまたまた理不尽系だ。
Ah, So it was a kind of false choice once again, eh?
あんまり気に病まねえでザカザカヒントに行っちまおうぜ。今回のバッドエンド21題してぬくみのかけらもない春の一撃で幼く死亡についてだが、シナリオチャートにもある通り今回手に入ったキー18だけじゃ鍵はまだ開いてくれねえ。これまで何度かあったパターン同様、無茶な解決策を通すためにはまともな話し合いを一通りする必要がある。
Okay, okay.
キーを探すにしろ使うにしろ、戻り先は6暗黒の善か無か選べだ。何が起こるかしっかり見てきてくれな。つうとこで今回はここまで。次も元気に死んでこい。
I mean, we don't interact with her as much as other characters. But have we had other examples of Haru being so gung-ho about the supposed laws of the mountain? Yeah,
そういう夢だったってわけだ。次はもっとうまくやれ。羊が1匹、羊が2匹。
Give me the chart. Darkness. Okay. Massacre.
僕らは狼だ。狼は、読み人を皆殺しにしなきゃならない。
Minagoroshi, I know that chapter.
結局そうでしょ。
僕はいい。あなたたちはそれでいいんだろうな。
Just complete opposite of what we just did.
自分の大事なものが手にかかる瞬間、背中から刺したりは本当にしないんだろうな。僕はあなた方の神内明神に対する信心を疑っていません。しかし、神の一声で一切の人間性を失えるほど人でなしじゃないとも思ってる。もう一度問います。本当に殺しますが、いいんですね。
Unless this is a kind of fake out almost, where he's just trying to get a gauge on how serious they are.
わかった。いいですよ。
She went and said it.
では、香織さんは？
Uh-oh.
わかったわ。
Ooh.
じゃあ、
My words were cut off. And so was my breathing. What?
私たちは自分たちで自分たちを殺すべきだったんだわ。
Pushed a little too hard in the other direction, I see. An intense heat or cold in my back.
そうすれば黄泉より落ちてあの子たちとまた会える。
When the sensation was pulled out of my body, I began to feel my life leave me.
そうすれば母としてあの子たちを手にかけずに済む。
I understood that she was stuck between a rock and a hard place. But I didn't expect it to be so bad that she'd resort to such drastic measures. I collapsed forward.
さあ、はるちゃん、じっとしていてね。裏切り者!
That was the last thing I heard as I choked on my blood and breathed my last. Had I chosen the wrong way to go about it? I don't know. Let me think about it, Haruaki. How could I have convinced her? My questions faded with my consciousness. Hariti. I do not know that word. I presume it to be foreign. Let us see. That's the same thing. Okay. To be a wolf means murder is unavoidable. After telling her that, my supposed ally, Cowrie, killed me. I am glad wolves can be virtuous, but getting killed isn't my idea of fun. What should I do? Okay, so we push too hard in either direction, we get killed. Got it. Okay, Mr. Sheep, one more time.
やっちまったな大将。しかしここも割と理不尽系だ。
Yes, I agree. Very unreasonable.
気に病むことはねえので、チャキチャキヒントを受け取ってくれ。今回のバッドエンド20、題して即断即決ママにやられて即死についてだが。
Swift maternal death. Yeah, that's a good way to describe what just happened.
シナリオチャートを見ての通り、今回手に入ったキー17だけだと鍵を開けるのはまだ無理なんだ。まあこれまで何度かあったパターンだな。通り一遍の解決策を試さなきゃ思いつかねえような策が必要なのさ。キーを探すにしろ使うにしろ、戻り先は6暗黒の善か無か選べになる。変わらず飢えず無を選んでくれよな。
Choose nothing over hunger and thirst, huh?
今回はここまで。次も元気に死んでこい。
That's probably just referring to what I just said. Don't go to either extreme.
次はもっとうまくやれ。羊が1匹、羊が2匹。
Okay, let's actually go forward now. Trick them, huh? Okay. I'm intrigued, Haruaki. Show me. Show me what you have in mind. Yep. If I insisted on killing, the mother snapped. And if I insisted on not killing, it was the girl. That experience made it impossible for me to choose either. The locals could have at least had the decency to harbor some kind of... The locals could have at least had the decency to harbor the same kind of madness. If I continued with the little tricks, it'd lead to problems in the future. And I also wanted to find a scenario in which I didn't die. Thus, I decide to spend this timeline fulfilling the role of the wolf. Also, it seemed easier to create a full fanatic out of a doubter than to correct an unwavering zealot. I'll have to make Kaori-san kill herself. Wait, so are we tricking them or not? What's the... Hang on. So you don't want to continue with little tricks. But this was the trick them choice. For that, I needed a good story. Okay, so we are committing to the wolf, but we need to... I guess we're tricking Kaori and not... Let's just hear what he has to say. I needed a good story.
信じてもらえるかどうかわからないですが。
Okay, she needed a story that could match the absurd legends.
僕はね、この村を救いに来たんです。
Oh boy, okay, yeah, this is definitely something out there. It had to be like entertainment and seem like fiction, like something Rokako-san would like.
は、え？救いに来た？
It lended an ear to me. I had it in the bag now.
信じられないかもしれませんが、僕にはなんというか普通の人には見えないものが少しだけ見えるんです。
I mean, at this point, why don't you just tell them you're looping?
そのせいでいろいろ面倒もありましたけどね。今はこの力を使って面倒ごとの解決を請け負う仕事をしてるんです。
In fact, he might just be doing it.
じゃあ世を儚んだって話は。
嘘です。若者が死のうとしてるって話は田舎では受けるんですよ。潜入調査が必要なことが多いんでね。今回は上藤吉のとある方の依頼でここに来たんですけどね。
誰よ、長者？
ええ、誰か詳しくは言いませんけどね。安水という場所に昔から怪奇現象があるから調査してくれと。そこで潜入してみたら、案の定誰も彼もが人ならぬものになり果てていた。
Kaori-san gasped.
彼らにはその自覚はない。この安水という場所はあの世との境界が曖昧だから、あなたたちも彼らもそれに気づかない。だけど一度霧が出たらもうおしまいだ。偽の平和は終わり、黄泉に落ちた人たちと争わなければならなくなった。それが山の神神内明神の望み、僕らが昨晩まみえた人心浪面の神の望みのようですね。
どうしてそんなことに。
The truth was less important than the ties to the real story.
元より安水はそういう場所だ。ここの食べ物を食べていれば、いずれ身も心も黄泉のものになる。神内明神のかつてのお守りもそうなった。かの神は霧が立つたび蘇ってくる彼らを撃退せねばならない。
それならなんでこんな回りくどいことを？
Why would you... Never mind.
かの神がひどく弱くなっているから。
That surprised them both.
神内様が弱い。
ええ、何しろ落ちたお守りを奉ずる四長者にこの山は支配されている。彼らも真相は知らないんだろうね。自分たちの祖がすでに主神を背いて黄泉におもねっているなんて。いずれは根本的に彼らも対処しないといけないでしょう。しかしまずは生き残らないと。
上藤吉もみんな読み人なの？
いや、あくまで安水に暮らす皆だけが読み人のようだ。あなたたちはその中で唯一の人間。その理由はわからないけど、いや、香織さん、あなたもともとここの人間じゃないですね。聖火のもっと北の土地のつながりがあなたを引き止めてる。
なんでわかったの？
一瞬見えたんですよ。
That was a lie, but as someone experiencing these loops, I could easily simulate the supernatural phenomenon of knowing things before they were told to me.
じゃあ私は？
君は正直言っていいか迷うな。
I was honest this time. She'd survived going to Yasumizu 8 years ago. That alone, 8 years ago, huh? Was it ever directly said that it was 8 years ago? Probably. I'm not sure why I didn't pick up on that. How old would she have been? That alone was special enough, but would she be okay to hear it? I would just buy some time.
とりあえずこれは没収ね。
I took a small, sharp grass sickle from her hand. It didn't seem like a supernatural power exactly, but I just needed to look skilled.
よそ者である僕が神内明神の掟に背くんじゃないか。もしそうなら殺さなくてはってとこかい。
どうして？
荒事にも慣れてるからね。あと香織さんも最悪その辺の包丁で暴れてやろうかって思ってるでしょ。
Oops, sorry.
そんなことないわよ。
いいや、あなたの心の中にはそのようなこう思う鬼面の神が潜んでいます。
What the hell was I saying? They were listening intently, though.
強く正しい神だが今はあなたを盲目にしている。子供たちを害したくない一心で真実から目を背けさせている。
それは
外来者である僕が信頼できない気持ちはわかりますが、僕はこの通りあなたたちの味方だ。読み人にこうするためのスキルと経験もあるし、そのために最初にすべきことも分かってる。香織さん、
いやよ。あの子たちがいなければ私の人生は何だったのよ。
今言うべきことじゃないのは承知してますが、織部香織さん、彼らの人生は本来あなたのものじゃない。旦那さんやその他藤吉村に奪われたもの、失ったものの代替品でもない。
あなたどこまで？
あなたの右肩に旦那さんがいます。ああ、義継君によく似てらっしゃる。
She began crying loudly. What a cliche act this was.
彼らは自分たちが黄泉に落ちたことも知らず、ただ自分たちの魂を汚し続けています。彼らの魂は無言の涙を流し続けている。あなたは母親として彼らを救う義務がある。そういうふうに思うことはできませんか？あなたは生きてここを出て自分の人生を歩むべきだ。旦那さんもそう思ってらっしゃるようですよ。
私はこれまでろくに母らしいこともしないで。
誰も責めはしません。
分かっていたわ。私が本当は自分のためにあの子たちを育てて縛り付けようとしているって。義継にそばで守ってもらって安永に外に連れ出してもらいたいって。私に才覚がなくてこんなところから抜け出せないからって。
I looked at Haru-chan, worried she might pull something, but she just shrugged a bit.
私のせいであの子たちは変にお互いを意識して悩んでる。それも知ってる。だけどどうすればいいのか。
I had no idea that Kaori-san was hiding such weakness under her motherly strength. I had to ignore my guilt over taking advantage of it.
彼らだって悪くはない。かりそめの平穏の中で安水の苦境にあえぎながら立派に成長した。でももうおしまいなんです。夢が悪夢に変わる前に終わらせないと。誰も悪くない。誰も恨めない。これはいわば世の断りに巻き込まれた災難です。
It'd be horrible if that was true, honestly. I silently hoped that my lie wouldn't become a reality. I also felt that the root of all evil for her in my story were the Higuchi. They'd sent her here, after all, but I kept quiet about it. Anyway, my story seems to have captured her completely.
一つだけお願いがあるわ。
何でしょう。
I had to give her something to help gather her resolve.
どうせやるなら早くあの子たちを早く先に楽にしてあげたいの。
That wouldn't be good for us. If we made the killings personal, someone would notice. Taking out Yasunaga at the start was one thing, but following up with Yoshitsugu-kun? Would she even stay sane with them gone?
でも香織さん、それは。
いいじゃないですか、それで。
Haru-chan had just silently listened for most of my story, but now she'd made herself an obstacle?
香織さん、そうでなきゃ私たちとは一緒にやれない？
私はあの子たちを楽にしてあげたい。そういうこと、そうだったんだわ。私はそうすべき。今はっきり分かった。そうしてくれないなら私は私でそのように動くわ。
らしいけど。
If Kaori-san let her emotions take over and acted independently, she'd most likely put us in a terrible situation. She'd probably prepare food with aconite. Kinosuke-shi would notice, and she'd be hanged. That'd be no use to us. She could also use more messy methods, but no matter what they were, they'd have minimal effect. Violence needed to have perfect timing and force behind it. In that sense, Chimi's rampage last time was perfect.
あなたが市場で息子を殺すことで、あなたは間違いなく疑われるだろ
う。構わないわ。私はそれでくくられて構わない。
あなたは外に出るべきだと、旦那さんも。
いくらあの子たちやあの人がそう願ってくれても、きっとあの子たちを手にかければ私は耐えられない。
僕らも困る。狼が一人減れば命が3分の1削れるも同じなんです。
But
ただし
if
あなたの死に方を僕らに任せてくれるなら
then
協力しましょ
う。This was awful.
ええ、構わない。
It was awful. I was awful. This team was awful.
今あなたの旦那さんは見えなくなりました。
あなた、ごめんなさい。
Crap. Kaori saw and her sons were basically a replacement for her husband. What she wanted now was basically a forced group suicide along with her sons. That was the compromise. The overlap between the laws of the mountain and her ego. Why were humans so hard to manipulate?
それでは、今日は安永君を。
ええ。
はるちゃんはいいのか？
仕方ないじゃないですか。兄ちゃんは読み人なんだし。
はるちゃんは安永のことを好いてくれてたのでしょ？
お兄ちゃんとしてね。香織さんが亡きにするって決めたならわがままは言わないよ。
いい子ね。ごめんなさいね。
Everyone in Yasumizu was a good person. I wasn't. And to me, they seemed completely insane. Mamiya-san had probably felt similarly last time. That was why she died like that. And I had no intention to follow in her footsteps. I'd decided that I would survive. And if that required me to become the best wolf, so be it. Oh boy. That scene took a lot out of me, actually. Kaori really let it all out, so to speak, and that was a lot. I feel kind of drained a bit, actually, and, well, I think I'm gonna call it here. I was almost, this is somewhat terrible to say, but almost excited to see how we were going to, take on the game side of things and strategize and figure out a plan and, do this sort of thing. And yet, I got confronted with some really raw stuff this time. So, I think I need some time to reset, so to speak. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call it here, and next time we will actually get into the meat of it, I guess you could say. Yeah, and then maybe we'll do a bit of a recap and then continue on. Okay, I've been the Worm. This has been Raging Loop. Definitely, I think I said this last time, maybe, or the time before that, but this is definitely, this is what word do I want to use here? The harshest route? Well, the most difficult. This is the most difficult route for more than one reason. So, anyway, hope you're doing all right. See you next time.